So here's what I did. Okay, so yeah, I can't find the goddamn cricket, and I freaking hate crickets for the life of me. Right now, that bastard's going off, but it's not picking up. I put the mic further away from it. I moved the table in my room at my desk. Like at my bed, closer to my bed, away from the corner that I'd like to be at for some reason. So hopefully it'll stay away. Because it's like way too damn loud and I hate the sound of crickets. Alright. It really sucks how, like, in my opinion, my stream was a disaster for myself. Because one, my jaw was clicking, and two, I hate the sound of crickets. I hate all kinds of outside noises. I can't stand crickets. I cannot stand buzzing noises. I cannot stand, like, things that make terrible freaking. I cannot stand the sound of cars. I can't stand it when dogs bark all the time and stuff. Like, I don't know. Sometimes there are certain things that just infuriate me, and I don't even know. Like, I have a very bad temper at times. The mic is on my bed. So good. So let's start the reading. Just give me a couple of moments while I move my laptop a bit. What is it? How would this game be resolved? You may submit, or you may resist. Either way will truly be an entertaining banquet, worth betting my short remaining life on. In his dimly lit study, occasionally brightened by lightning, Ginzo kept mumbling and laughing to himself. On the antique clock, with an intricate design that had been sitting on his desk, the two overlapping hands tilted to the right and began to slide. The measure of time that counted up to 24 had returned to 0 and had begun to count back again. Measuring time is a brutal thing. It drags itself all the way to 24 over the course of a day, and then returns back to 0. It certainly did count to 23:59. However, is it ever able to reach 24:00? If you conclude that it returns to 0:00 again without reaching 24, how futile it must all be. But perhaps a person's life is the same. You live aiming for a perfect 24, and in an instant you reach it, you return to 0. People will probably praise it apart, saying that he did reach 24, but he most certainly did not. In the end, he is a 0. I am different. I will live and reach 24. That itself is the Golden Land, for that is where Beatrice dwells. Ginzo had been fumbling around with some tarot cards for some time. It looked as though he was trying to divine his own luck with a contest, doing it over every time he didn't like the result. The most forbidden action in tarot reading is trying to predict the same thing twice. To do so ridicules the results of fortune telling, and also desecrates those beings higher than humans that give revelations through the tarot cards. However, Ginzo knew tarot cards should never be used twice because they're nothing more than a random number generator. Reading them twice will naturally cause a different result to appear. Therefore, reading them twice was only forbidden to preserve mystique of the tarot card results. However, that didn't mean that Ginzo didn't take tarot reading seriously. Ginzo's interpretation of tarot reading was done in a completely different way. This was done to repeat the reading over and over, without giving up on the slice, favorable for him. The mark he set for this most favorable result would vary. But when he demanded the most favorable result in a strictly literal sense, it was the same as a simple roulette of luck, where he seeked an arithmetic miracle. However, Kinzo used miracles of numbers as a basis of his magical power, so this functioned perfectly well as a magical ritual. In other words, until the result he desired appeared perfectly, he would strive to repeat the tarot readings over and over, with conviction, turning the feelings of his heart into prayers, so that when they reached the heavens they may be supplemented into results. This was Kinzo's personal magic interpretation. Therefore, even though Kinzo's tarot cards were no different from those generally used, the way in which they were used was completely different. Okay, yeah, just making sure. That thing's getting louder. Tonight will not go as I thought. Kinzo stopped his hands for a second. He seemed not to be getting the results he wanted. On the contrary, bad cards that shouldn't show up so often appeared repeatedly, and continued to interfere with the miracle that Kinzo wished for. Is that how it is? Kinzo seemed to have received some revelation that was different from normal. But judging by the unlucky cards scattered across his desk, it was difficult to imagine the omen had been a good one. For a while, Kinzo closed his eyes tightly, pondering something. Then as the thunder roared, he made up his mind about something, took the telephone receiver and dialed. It is I! Is Genji there? An urgent matter has come up! In front of the entrance hall, Shannon's once burning face had been cooled off by the frigid air. She had thought that George's proposal would surely come sooner or later. It wasn't as though she hadn't prepared herself mentally. She had answered by nodding. Had she been breathless because of her youth? Should she have thought about her future more seriously? I wonder if my immediate reply made him think I'm a cheap girl. If I at least waited until tomorrow morning, would that at least show him that I was taking this seriously? Now that she already received the ring from George, Shannon kept fidgeting in embarrassment. I should have done this. I should have done that. As she did, she heard the sound of footsteps splashing through the puddles. Shannon immediately chased away the emotions welling up inside her. Genji! And Kano! I'm sorry, I have to go back soon. She grew stiff, thinking she'd surely be scolded for spending too much time in their secret lovers' meeting with George. Shano, the master told us to come to the study, saying it was urgent. Let us hurry. Huh? Yes, certainly. What in the world? He said he had a premonition of misfortune. How convenient for him, considering he's the one who started the ceremony. We will enter from the back so Koro doesn't notice us. Hide your footsteps. Yes, Nei-san. Take care. You're so noisy. Kano was especially good at hiding his footsteps. Just like a cat, he was able to suddenly be there without anyone noticing him leave the same way. For example, even though he stepped in puddles, the sound he made was far smaller than the rain hitting him. Genji also had abilities of that kind, or rather, most servants called birds were supposed to be like that. Just like how desks and closets go unnoticed by the members of the family, these servants also held it as a great virtue to suddenly just be there whenever they were needed. Compared to that, Shannon's footsteps still strongly asserted themselves. She was also trying to hide her footsteps, but compared to Kanon and Genji, well, you could say she was a little more boisterous. Eventually, they reached the back door, and the three of them entered the mansion. Oh, so I just realized how that that you could probably hear the rain I was playing in the thing. Immediately, they thought they felt something. It was different from a sense of smell. It seemed to hit the depths of their noses. This hard to describe sensation, which you might call a sixth sense, allowed them to perceive something was different from usual. Genji. Indeed, let us hurry. That sensation made it feel as though a tense something was pressing in around them. Realizing that, the three of them dashed up the stairs, heading for Kinzo's study, while still hiding their footsteps. When they dashed up the stairs, the smell of sweet poison particular to Kinzo's study reached their noses. What is it, Genji? The barrier is dead. Huh? After hearing Kanon's words, she looked at the door to the study. A scorpion pattern was engraved on the doorknob. A powerful ward against magic. The final barrier which protected Kinzo himself. It had been broken. Of course, there was no change to the doorknob that the eye could see. However, those who could understand things people couldn't perceive were able to recognize that a dramatic change had occurred. Master, it is Genji. Please open the door. Genji called this way after knocking several times, but there was no answer from the study. Shannon, guard our backs. Kanon, search inside the room. Yes! Okay, hold on, I have to check. Okay. Yeah, it's catching my voice. Kanon put his ear against the door, searching for a presence inside the study. To protect the backs of the pair watching the door, Shannon faced the other way, ready for the unexpected. The master must be in here, but it's too quiet. Do you mean to say he's safe? No, it's too quiet. Could it possibly be... Master, excuse us about the door. Genji pulled a gold key out of his pocket. It was the only key to the study that existed, other than the one that Kinzo held. He stuck it in the keyhole and turned it heavily. At first glance, it seemed to prove that it was a sturdy lock. However, now that the barrier had been destroyed, this door might as well have been left open from the viewpoint of anyone with magical power. The heavy sound just now meant that the door had now been open even for humans. Excuse me. As Genji respectfully bowed his head and Kanon's sense of tension grew tighter and Shannon trembled, they entered the study. They immediately discovered Kinzo's figure. He was sitting on the reception sofa, so his back faced them. Genji noticed the person sitting across from him and bowed again deeply. Kanon also noticed that person, but he didn't bow his head. He stood in front of Shannon and spread out his arms, blocking the way to her. So without even seeing that person's face, Shannon had already had a good idea of who it was. So you have come, Beatrice. Genji, is it? You came very quickly. Yes, it is always best when furniture answers to their master's call quickly.
unlike this person. So, Ronove has come as well.
Genji directed his greeting toward the thin darkness behind to the right of Beatrice, where there shouldn't have been anything. Even Canon and Shannon would have never imagined that someone was there. However, the darkness responded immediately and praised Genji's eyesight.
As usual, you don't disappoint. It's been quite some time. Still, you've grown old, haven't you? Have so many years truly passed you by? My days have been full and satisfying. It appears you have been living quite a full life yourself, Ronove. Yes, thank you. And Shannon, it has been a long time since I saw you last as well. You've grown quite beautiful. It seems that you've grown quite strong. That is fortunate.
Thank you very much.
Nason, who in the world? This will be our first meeting, Canon. I, Ronove, have been entrusted with the position of Beatrice's head furniture. I am an old friend of Genji's, and I am also furniture, just like you, although the master I serve is different.
The tense color did not disappear from Canon's face in the slightest. Depending on the master furniture served, they might have been kind or brutal or anything else. If this person claimed to be furniture serving the hated Beatrice, then he must be despicable as well.
It seems I'm thoroughly despised. It's as though you hate everything that has to do with me.
Beatrice openly sneered at Canon's hate-filled face. Then Canon finally realized. Beatrice and Kinzo were having a chess game across the reception table, but Kinzo hadn't even quivered. He was holding his head with both hands, his eyes closed tight as he contemplated his next move. Or was he in anguish? Master,
I have told Kinzo 2 things. There was good news and bad news. The good news is he'll have the good fortune of being reunited with me before the ceremony ends. The bad news is that Kinzo has been selected as the very first in the ceremony. There's absolutely nothing I can do about it, because it truly was decided by the fickle roulette.
liar! We know you're just a murderer who kills for fun! Stop it, Canon!
So, Kinzo, isn't it about time you decided to accept your loss? With this, our long contest is at an end, yes.
At a glance, it was hard to make out the situation on that chaotic chessboard. However, judging by Kinzo's anguish and Beatrice's malicious confidence, it seemed to be over already.
It is unavoidable. Perhaps even this could be amusing. It is to me too. Resolving my contest with you may bring a flood of emotions, but it has already surpassed love and hate. It was fun. These past few decades certainly weren't boring.
Beatrice advanced her queen and made her final move, and that decided it.
Checkmate. This is my final tribute to you, without any reservations. Sleep.
Kinzo suddenly stood up and laughed like an opera singer facing a full crowd, spreading his arms as though he had already succeeded in a century-long plan. That laugh spat crimson. Crimson flames poured out from inside of him, spitting out even his mouth, ears, and nose, and all at once his body was wrapped in hellfire. But Kinzo kept laughing. The more he laughed, the more hellfire spewed from his entire body and began to char him. Those flames became a brilliant light, which dazzlingly shone the various magicals throughout the room, making their distorted shadows dance across the walls. Those shadows looked like the dead in hell, watching over Kinzo in ecstasy as he burned. And for one who had made a contract with a witch, it was an extremely fitting end, in accordance with those terms. After laughing and howling in the roaring flames for some time, Kinzo flopped to the ground as though he was a puppet whose strings had been cut. Oh hey, it's the cliche the end line. I don't know, I always see Twitter make fun of it, so. Those incredible blazing flames disappeared as though he'd been completely burnt up. And afterwards, nothing remained but a festering and burnt corpse that one could hardly bear to look at. What if God was one of us? I'm sorry, I had to make a dumbass joke. Okay, anyway, I accidentally turned off the stream by using my foot to turn off the, that thing that has, like, multiple plugs. I turned off the button with my toe trying to find the cricket. And that's what happened. I was so mad. Oh my god. But yeah. So I moved my table and moved it to my bed away from the cricket. Definitely, I caused my own blackout. I have to re-record that other part when I went back on stream too. Because I kept trying to constantly make the cricket shut up. So I just moved the table in my room.
Horrible. You should talk. As if you didn't think that was a fitting way for him to die.
Why have you shown yourself? Do you have some business with us? Stop it, Canon. You mustn't provoke Beatrice.
It would seem you have them absolutely terrified. I imagine I'll never get along with Canon. Hey, it's not as though I dislike you particularly.
Oh, she got along with him after he died in episode 2. Beatrice grinned. Canon violently averted his gaze, obviously unhappy. His reaction was so different from what he wanted to do that it made the witch and her butler laugh.
Canon, you stand in the presence of Beatrice. Carefully consider your manner of speech. Oh, I care not, Genji. Let him say what he pleases. I am gracious.
How are you gracious?
I am always gracious to those who are about to die.
Canon was taken aback by that creepy laughter. Beatrice wasn't just here to take Kinzo's life. The first twilight required 6 sacrifices. Kinzo alone nearly wasn't enough. And they just casually walked in here.
Fear not, Canon. It isn't as though you'll be selected as sacrifices just because you came here. After all, you were called here because you've been selected already.
What? Their instincts were good enough to spot her meaning instantly. 6 sacrifices were required for the first twilight. After Kinzo, how many more would you need to add up to 6? In this mansion, the number 5 instantly made them think of the number of servants here.
Is that what you desire? Indeed. Thank me, furniture. Tonight your days of suffering will finally end. You ought to thank me for coming here to tell you this. Certainly, if that is your desire.
Genji! Genji had agreed to the witch's heartless announcement with his usual demeanor without raising an eyebrow.
Now that the master is dead, Beatrice is our master. Responding to her demands shall be our final duty. Shano, Kano, you have done well serving until today. That hard work is now over. As I expected of you, Genji. As your fellow furniture, I'm proud to have known you. Shano, do you have any objections?
No.
heard that George gave you a ring. Do you still say that you have no regrets?
Yes, that blessing was more than furniture deserves. Just receiving the ring has already satisfied my feelings. Shan couldn't take quite as much of a philosophical view as Genji. There were probably regrets left in her heart. She probably wanted to spend a little more warm time with the person she cared for, George. But she released herself from that. She took a single deep breath, and a blank expression rose to her face. Very well.
It does surprise me a tad to find that you've gained such composership. It seems you too have taken a philosophical view as furniture. Won't you at least shed some bearded tears for not being able to spend a night with a man you love? What a boring woman.
This feeling cannot be understood by the likes of you, Beatrice. If you desire our lives, please accept them. We will solemnly carry out that duty.
Very well. Excellently put. Just the type of person Beatrice can't handle. She's been taking such far-sighted views of things lately. I must have tormented her too much last time. Speaking of which, didn't I do the same to Battler? Am I still some? Or is the way I'm cornered them lacking? In any case, she's just no fun. However, it seems you'll still entertain me, right, Canon?
Canon? Compared to the two who had taken a far-sighted approach, there was a painful anguish on Canon's face. Canon was still far too young to accept his demise after being told it by a suddenly appearing witch.
Canon, I hate boredom more than anything. And the fact the other two have obediently accepted their deaths isn't amusing at all. So, I hope you won't betray my expectations.
Are you trying to make me your plaything? Canon realized he was being provoked. However, no matter how furiously anger spurred him on, his opponent was a witch. He was virgin. He hadn't had a chance of victory from the beginning. But the witch was expecting that he would struggle in vain and writhe around, and was looking even forward to it. Just thinking about that was frustrating enough to get his blood boiling. It was disappointing the witch by refusing to resist, like the other two, the only way he could strike back at her.
Eldest of the seven sisters of Purgatory, Lucifer, arise.
Lucifer of Pride, right here.
Kano, it would be far too cruel to force furniture to fight a witch. No matter how much anger spurs you on, you would have no hope in a battle without a chance of success. Of course, such a battle would be boring for me as well. So let it be furniture against furniture. Why not resolve it with a battle between you two? That should be enough to allow you some hope for victory, right?
Forgive me, Beatrice, but how could I be inferior to this good-for-nothing furniture? As if this cutie would have any chance against me.
Prove that you can defeat my furniture, the 7 stakes of Purgatory. If you manage to win through, let us see. I will let you select the 5 who will escape becoming one of the 13 sacrifices. I will welcome the 5 of you into the Golden Land without any conditions. How about that?
Canon understood he was being provoked. However, the witch's offer was very tempting. By this point, Canon couldn't care less about this evil ceremony the witch and the rest were trying to carry out. On the contrary, it was much more important that he remain alive so that he could be invited to the Golden Land and have his wish granted by Beatrice there.
You cried saying you had enough of being furniture, right? I shall grant your desire. I shall give you a human body you wanted so much you cried yourself to sleep. What do you say? That way you and Jessica could be together, yes. Oh, just perfect. You may recommend that Jessica and yourself be invited to the Golden Land. If you alone finding happiness isn't satisfying enough, then you can add in Shannon and George, the one she loves. If you're worried about duty, then you can also add Genji. That's 5 people. Isn't that enough, Kano? With this much of a reward. You won't let me get bored, will you?
She's just playing with you. There's no need to listen to her.
I don't like it. Are you okay with this, Nei-san?
Beatrice couldn't hide her evil smile at those words.
I don't like it. I want to be happy. I had enough of being furniture. I want to become human and have normal love. I want to know that the ocean is blue like you. How young. I'm jealous. That's why I like the young one. Genji, Shannon, stay back. Cannon, Lucifer, forward.
As you command. I don't like it. That way you look down on me. As if Beatrice would be impossible, but with me, at least you'd have a chance. I really don't like it. That was probably humiliating for Lucifer. But at the same time, she was also happy that she was lucky enough to have this adorable prey all to herself.
Come, furniture of the witch. Don't think you can look down on me forever. So, Bachelor, isn't this a fun show?
Damn it! Another weird thing's happening! Like I'd ever believe in a magic battle!
Oh yes, I really do. I love them too. Look, look! Don't turn your eyes away. Look at it! Look, look, look! It's magic, it's furniture. No matter how much you try to deny me in magic. Look, 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 look! If you've got all this happening right in front of you, it'd be a waste to miss it, don't you think? Look, look, look! Just stop thinking. Magic exists. This is fantasy. Don't close your eyes. Look closely. Look, 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 look!
Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it! I won't accept wishes! I won't accept magic!
He's falling for the shonen fight. Woo!
But it's being done right in the open like this. What am I supposed to say? Damn. Damn it!
Come. Now don't turn away. Look closely, okay? Magic exists. This is fantasy, so stop playing detective. I know your secret. You actually don't like to really think about things through, right? Then just stop. Stop! Look, look. It's gotta be fantasy. Gotta be fantasy. Shut up, shut up, shut up! Don't talk to me!
This guy's getting stubborn. Won't you apologize and crawl on the ground right now for being so conceited that you thought you could beat me? If you did, I wouldn't mind forgiving you, okay? Then you wouldn't have to have your skin ripped off while you're still alive, or get lashed all over as your body as you squirm until you die. You're a cutie, so apologize. If you do, I'll finish you off so gently while it still feels great.
Be silent, furniture of the witch. I had no intention of speaking with you.
So you're saying you think nothing of me? That disrespectful gaze of yours is really ticking me off! Canon.
Isn't he stronger than when he was against Satan? This is why humans are so frightened. In fact, sometimes they even become witches and treat demons as buttons. So which should I cheer on?
Are you saying that this guy is on par with me? Don't look down on me. As long as you have that pride, you'll never defeat me. You speak of Lucifer, the eldest of the seven sisters of purgatory, and say that I cannot win? How conceited! What? Canon was desperately trying to stay alive. He had a strong desire to become human. But Lucifer didn't feel anything stronger than a slight desire to play. So that led to an inevitable result. It was a result that could be reached by the power of humans. The power of the heart. Yeah, she does. In the anime, she, gets fan service because, it's oh, Canon sliced a cut and showed some of her boobs or something. This is as far as you go. You cannot win against me. The glowing red curve extended straight out from Canon's arm, pointing at Lucifer's throat just beneath the tip of her chin. What is this? How could I? There must be some mistake. As she ground her teeth in irritation, she tried to deny the truth right before her eyes. But no matter how much she believed in her own superiority, it didn't change the facts right in front of her.
Huh. Well done, Canon. Wonderful. You haven't bored me. How pitiful my furniture is compared to that. Lucifer, you are boring milady. But disappointed really too much for you to handle. I'm disappointed, Elder Sibling 7.
I messed up. Let's try again.
I'm disappointed, eldest of the 7 sticks.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Let me think. Is that better? Sorry, I'm a little bad at trying to... It would have seemed like a mere rebuke to an outsider. However, furniture serving the witch knew what kind of severe treatment was... What's wrong with me? Let's try again. It would have seemed like a mere rebuke to an outsider. However, furniture serving the witch knew what kind of severe treatment was being promised by that rebuke. Oh, no, it's okay. It's just... No, don't worry about it. I'm trying to do the thing right, but I can't. Okay, so anyway. It would have seemed like a mere rebuke to an outsider. However, furniture serving the witch knew what kind of severe treatment was promised by that rebuke, and understood what had been left unsaid. You good-for-nothing furniture! She howled. Abandoning her last bit of pride, she made her body explode, exposing her true form. That form was a demon stake. Oops! Sorry, I think she was supposed to sound angry. I got confused. Let's try that again. You good-for-nothing furniture! She howled, abandoning her last bit of pride. She made her body explode, exposing her true form. That form was a demon stake, which bounced off the walls surrounding the room. How could you shame me so much? Kill! 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 You blockhead! Even though you can't even follow my movements anymore! I won't play around anymore, I'm seriously mad! I'll pierce your heart in one blow! I'll plow right through you and make a fountain of bright red blood reach the ceiling! Die! Canon! After flying about wildly for some time, with a speed approaching the limits of what the human eye could follow, Lucifer flew at Canon's heart. She could tell it was Canon's blood by the sweet taste of it, but she quickly noticed one thing. She hadn't pierced his heart.
This is why humans are frightening. Would you like some black tea? I am fine for now. This is so amusing, I don't even need any.
Canon! Which of the steaks are my favorite? I don't know, I kind of like all of them. I don't have any one that I particularly dislike.
You were arrogant again. I told you that you wouldn't be able to defeat me.
Oh yes, definitely Mammon. I think Mammon has the most development out of them, or at least like more screen time in that sense. I mean, they all have the same face and all that stuff, and most of their personalities are a little kind of shallowish. The floor was stained with dripping blood. It really was Canon's blood. But it wasn't flowing out of his chest. Canon had sacrificed his own left hand to protect his heart. Lucifer was arrogant, even though she had been given enough time to realize that this was an opponent capable of cornering her. In her pride, she had believed him to be worthless. She had gotten careless. So just as she had announced, she aimed for his chest, trying to pierce his heart. Because she was arrogant, she hadn't even thought of aiming for somewhere other than the place that she had announced. No, maybe she had thought about it a little. However, her pride would not allow her to aim for a different spot. After all, she was Lucifer of Pride. Canon would stand in the pain, grasp the demon stake sticking deep into his left hand strongly with his right hand, and pulled it out. When she heard the sound of breaking bone and even more blood dripping down, Shadow looked away reflexively. There was an air hole in the back of the pierced hand so big you could clearly see through the other side. Canon's face was filled with pain, but right now, he had won without a doubt. The demon stake he was gripping with his right hand had turned back into Lucifer again, so that Canon was now gripping exactly where her neck was. You know what they should have done? They should have taken her, put her right here. That would be so funny.
It's my victory, Beatrice.
Man, Canon's a heartbreaker. He makes every girl he knows cry. Canon hold back at all with the hand gripping Lucifer's throat. She had challenged him again after their fight had already been decided. Canon had no obligation to be considerate. Even so, Canon released the witch's furniture. Was it his naive humans, his pity for another furniture, or a final bit of respect for the witch? In any case, when she was released, Lucifer fell down on the ground, retching and moaning over the pain in her throat.
Spectacular, Canon. Your great efforts have proven the correctness of some of Kinzo's research.
Oh yeah, and he doesn't just make other girls cry. He even does it in the side story extras too.
Renalve was clapping his hands.
To Canon, who had won at great cost and had a wound on his left hand that wouldn't close, Renalve's applause only felt like mockery.
All possibilities dwell within the human heart, was it? My, this is why humans are frightening. Well done, Kano. You were victorious. Spectacular.
Are you okay? Kano! Sharon ran up to him and wrapped a handkerchief around his left hand, which was still spraying blood. Well, at least she gets some niceness in the side stories, like in the Valentine's Day with Valor.
That was incredible, Kano. Truly incredible. Even I was hoping at least for an upset. That you didn't let me down makes you truly splendid furniture. I think better of you now. I honestly think better of you.
You haven't forgotten our promise, right, Beatrice?
Indeed. Of course I haven't forgotten. Witches and demons may be inhumane. However, we are much more noble than humans when it comes to keeping promises. I will not go back on my word. I guarantee that if you want, I will make you put beside the 5 people who escaped becoming the 13 sacrifices.
Beatrice! It's not like I've She suddenly changed into a different art style. When Beatrice waved her pipe, heaven and earth turned over just for Lucifer. So as a horrible natural result, she fell onto the ceiling. The ceiling doesn't seem that high compared to people standing on the floor. However, people who fall on it upside down and head first usually don't agree. Milady, isn't that a little much?
Perhaps you are right. I suppose I'll forgive her.
Beatrice waved her pipe again. When she did, the magic that had been infecting Lucifer was released. So as a horribly natural result, this time she fell properly back onto the floor.
Oh yes.
Her angel mort costume. It looks like Beatrice was into Higurashi as well. Beatrice, forgive me.
What are you so afraid of? I have already forgiven you, haven't I? So, Kano, shall we continue?
Continue what? You aren't saying that you want me to finish her, are you?
No, it isn't over yet, right?
What is it? Stop dodging the question!
I did promise you your reward, didn't I? If you could defeat my furniture. The 7 stakes of purgatory, right?
7?
Come arise, the 7 stakes of purgatory. The 6 younger sisters of the worthless elder sister.
The air split with shrill laughter. As the golden splash scattered about, the remaining 6 sisters of purgatory showed themselves. All the 7 sisters were here after Kano was able to defeat one and only by sacrificing his left arm. By now, Kano had regretted his thoughtlessness in accepting the witch's challenge. He had been foolish to assume that the game against a witch would be on an even footing. Lame! Oni-sama, why are you crawling on the floor?
You people!
I told you One-sama is useless. Even though she acts like she's so great just because she's the oldest, that's only on the outside.
Yeah, seriously. Lucifer One-sama, your disgraceful behavior will damage the reputation of us all. Know your shame, you novice.
okay? Lucifer brags all the time, but she's no big deal compared to the rest of us sisters.
That's why I'm always saying Lucifer shouldn't do anything. Just let her keep bragging all the time. After all, those of us with talent can handle all the tough jobs.
What are you going to do, One-sama? Out of respect for your pride, we were planning to stay out of your way in hopes that you would challenge him again in that beat-up body of yours. But Kano sure is strong, right? Right now, no matter how much you struggle, there's no way you could win, right?
You people!
My, you sisters are always so lively. Is this any time to fight amongst yourselves? It's only together that you're the 7 sticks of purgatory, correct? Now play nice and execute the tasks I give you. And swiftly, okay?
Hey, Lucifer! If you want to borrow the power of your little sisters, then say it, okay? We want to hear you ask us for help with your own mouth.
Do you plan to mock me even more?
I, the foolish, weak, ugly, and shameful Lucifer, the eldest sister, begged my younger sisters to save me. Come on, let's hear it. If you let us hear that, we'll save you, okay? Everyone?
You... bitch! The 7 Sisters of Purgatory unanimously closed in on their worthless sister, abusing her. Even Kano, who'd been fighting for his life until a second ago, couldn't bear to look at it. As if I could say something like that.
Quickly now. Clearly we won't make any progress here with you alone. Hurry up and let the 7 sisters strike Kano.
My, what is the matter, Lucifer?
This is an order from a lady, is it not?
How cruel. After grinding her teeth over and over after hearing her sister's curses, Lucifer trembled all over and answered her sister's request. I, the foolish, weak, ugly, and shameful, Lucifer, the eldest sister, beg. The girl known as Pride was finally unable to endure the words she was saying and broke down crying. However, the 6 younger sisters kept giggling cold-heartedly. Oof. Yeah, that... poor Lucifer.
Wait a sec! Don't try to trick us by crying! You haven't finished saying it!
That should be enough. Come, sisters. Let's display our power.
I won't be satisfied until I hear the whole thing, okay? Come on, One-sama, keep going.
That's enough! Come on, this shame affects us all. We won't let them leave here alive.
Okay, how should we play with this pitiful furniture? Any wonderful plans? Yes! The least things! The 7 of us should get along and split Kano up between us!
Good idea. That way all the sisters can get along. Then I'll take the head. I'll leave the limbs and guts to you all.
No! I get the head!
There's no way that promise will mean anything, right? First one there wins.
Canon, you have any idea of how we should kill you? Just tell us, okay? The 7 sisters will kill you in an awesome way!
Damn. You shame me so deeply! Slicing you to 8 pieces won't be enough! I'll slice you to 100 pieces! Here we go, everyone!
sorry. I guess I should pitch it up. Okay. I don't know. I always say Belize or something. I don't know.
Yes, One-sama!
The 7 of them burst all at once. They had no intention of playing or boasting. This time they would genuinely follow their master's order. Take Kanon down swiftly. The 7 sisters jumped around the room faster than the eye could see, examining how they could best kill Kanon. They tortured Kanon with their cruel giggles, sometimes making a close pass at him. They kept scraping his arms, shoulders, and cheeks, gradually carving red letters into his body. At that moment, Sharon dashed up behind him, holding on to him, so she blocked the way to his body at least a little. That's true. Words no real. Words be fake. At the same time, a red cylinder wrapped around the 2 of them, like a beam of light sent from heaven. That cylinder repelled away the evil one who tormented Kanon. Evil ones, my bad.
What? You're mean! This has nothing to do with you! I see. You must want to play with us.
Then I'll take it! All mine! Beatrice, can we take Shannon as our prey?
I don't mind. Do as you like. It seems Kanon alone will be enough to satisfy your gluttony. You have our deepest gratitude. Come on, I'll make you regret coming out uninvited.
I'll turn you to scraps of meat so unrecognizable you won't be able to tell which is which. Mix you and mince you into hamburgers.
Idiot, breaking that barrier should come first, right? Don't let your gluttony get in the way of your job.
Yes, One-sama!
As horribly natural first action, the 7 sisters began to destroy the barriers Shannon had created. Shannon's barrier certainly was strong. It was powerful enough to impress even Beatrice. With its strength, frail furniture would just turn to dust just by touching it. It was firm, like a tree with deep roots. Yes, but no matter how big a tree gets, it'll eventually surrender into a saw or a hatchet. For the 7 sisters, chopping down Shannon's barrier would be annoying, but not impossible. A sound like beetles jumping about grew even fiercer and filled the room. The red barrier began to cut up and eroded away as though with a hatchet. A saw. No, a chainsaw by now. How foolish. Even though you must know your barrier can't fully protect you from these girls. Why?
Because I couldn't overlook it.
As Shannon covered Kanon, who was already at his limits, sprawled on the floor, she spoke back resolutely.
If you hadn't barged in uninvited, I would have given you a death-like sleep. Why have you gone to all the trouble of exposing yourself before the 7 sisters? Not all deaths are the same. A cruel death will cause you far more anguish than merely dying.
Go ahead. Do as you like. Just as you always do what you want. I did what I wanted.
At any rate, you're not quite as amusing at the present moment. Romance is most interesting when you're wondering whether it will succeed or not. Once it does succeed, a woman is like salmon who has finished laying its eggs. I've already tired of you.
Thank you. No words from a witch would make me happier.
Then at least in the end, let me see you die in a truly entertaining manner. 7 sisters, can you hear me? Kill Shannon in a way that shows me the limits of brutality. Shannon.
My apologies. In the end, I wasn't able to reach your level, Genji.
You're an idiot, Nason. If you just let me be, you might not have to admit a horrible end.
No, it's fine. I received a ring from George and lived as a woman. I have protected you and lived as a sister. With this, my life is complete with no regrets.
You're pissing me off! That philosophical take is really irritating. Like I said, your furniture. You don't even smell like a human! Look at me. I am a human. Don't spout philosophical crap that you're complete like I am, you furniture!
How ugly. Are those regrets what you truly are?
They aren't regrets! This is called living. What's this about not minding if you die just because you were given a ring? I can't understand it. It's incomprehensible, disappointing, outrageous, stunning, and it's all useless!
Milady, perhaps you're acting a tad undignified.
Shut up, furniture! Shannon! Do you think I'll let you die so easily? Now's the time to bite off your tongue!
Oops, my voice cracked. My bad. Maybe I have to do that again. My bad.
How pitiful. If you can see yourself reflected in my eyes, then shut out your own ugliness.
Fear not. Once I crush you up, you'll be much more uglier even while you still live!
At that time, Genji softly entered the red barrier. Perhaps that barrier didn't block those without ill intent. Then Genji gently held her from behind and covered her eyes with his right hand.
Genji,
You've already done enough. Go to sleep before me.
yes. Thank you very much, Genji.
Indeed.
After that, Genji softly pressed his left hand near her collarbone. As he did, emanating from that area, a crimson stain gently spread out. When Genji removed his hand, bright red, fresh blood oozed out of there. It only happened for the first instant, and it was shaped like a crimson rose. And when he removed his right hand covering her face, there was a peaceful expression there, as though she was sleeping. Then she fell softly, silently, and slept. Her soul had already been sent to a world where the malicious witch and her furniture could not reach her, no matter how evilly they tortured her. This scene left Beatrice and the seven sisters stunned. Only Roname wore a mysterious smile. Then Genji leaned over Kanon, who was crouching on the floor.
You did well. You should sleep now too.
Yes. Thank you very much, Genji. Just as he had done with Shannon, he softly covered Kanon's eyes with his hand, then gently pressed the area around Kanon's collarbone with his other hand. And when his hand was removed with the lightness of a feather, there was a crimson rose there. But that rose shape quickly turned into a stain of bright red blood pouring out.
What is that? What a boring person. Even though it's so fun to poke the balloon of life with a needle so that it forcibly explodes. Spectacular, Genji. You truly are furniture. Thank you very much. Well then, Beatrice, Ronove, well, this is my final task. Allow me to rest. Damn you, snatching away my fun. Why don't I take all the thrashing and mashing I wanted to do to them, and give it to you instead?
Beatrice faced him with an unsatisfied expression, but Ronove spoke quietly to Genji with a soothing smile.
You have worked hard. You are my greatest servant. As a final gift, I shall bestow upon you a peaceful sleep, fitting for all the labors you have performed. What? Wait, it's not your place to...
Ronove snapped his fingers. Genji slumped to the floor like a puppet with its strings cut. Suddenly, and yet gently, he crumpled, falling into a sleep that no witch could call him back from. It was filled with kindness, as the sleep he had given Shannon and Kano.
What was that, Ronove? What a boring anticlimax. Are you not a mighty great witch, milady? What happened here is hardly worthy of your concern. It isn't like you to let the provocation of someone like Shannon get to you.
What was it that had Beatrice so irritated? Was she still unable to remove the thorn of Shannon's words? Ronove laughed lightly, as though lamenting the complexity of humanity in a woman's heart, and ordered the seven sisters to go. After all, there were still 2 sacrifices left for the first twilight. The 7 sisters disappeared in ecstasy. Oh, it's Gouda chef time. The last time anybody will ever get a good meal. Gouda was doing the nighttime rounds. Rokkanjima had always been empty except for the Ushirimiya family household, so checking the doors and windows were all closed had no real purpose. However, since the time Natsuhide... Wait a minute, we already know this! However, since the time Natsuhide contest such an attitude as being careless, the nighttime rounds had become part of the servants' daily routine. In the first place, Natsuhide ordered this because of the occasional witch's disturbances. Everyone who came and left this island knew about the legend of the witch Beatrice, the Witch of the Forest. It had become established as the island's characteristic ghost story. Because of that, it was only natural that someone would claim that, when they thought they were alone in the mansion, that they would hear a strange sound or see the shadow of a person. However, when that created a little too much of a disturbance and reached Natsuhi's ears, she made a fuss thinking that some suspicious person might have been entering and leaving. Apparently, she aroused all the servants and had them check through the mansion. Because of all that panic over the witch had happened before the Gouda's arrival, he had only heard about it from the more senior servants. Ghost stories of that could be found in any workplace. Even at hotels and restaurants that Gouda had worked at there had been plenty of them. So when he heard about the story on this island, he'd given a forced smile thinking, ah, so they have that kind of thing here after all. That forced smile aside, he figured that when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and had taken it seriously. Gouda went along with it on the outside, but in his heart, he assumed it to be a childish trick. At first, that is.
This is certainly eerie. Yes, I can see why it's so easy for past servants to get into a panic.
You can understand how someone doing the rounds on an eerie night like this might believe they'd seen a ghost or saw a lace curtain waving in the breeze from a window that hadn't been closed. So if you make fun of the witch of the portrait, there is a curse. It seems it was a servant who received a serious energy and quit. Well, I wouldn't want that. Think of my age. I probably wouldn't be granted a workplace this hospitable again. Ah, witch of the portrait. I'm working sincerely, so please give me some peace. Oof. Too bad he gonna get the opposite. Go to pray to the portrait, his hands together as though he was at a Shinto shrine. At the time, he thought he heard a sound. The kitchen? Was that the sound of something metal falling on the floor? Maybe a mouse or something gross had come out and knocked over some of the dishes. No, how could that be? It was usually cleaned thoroughly. Thinking he'd check out what that noise had really been, Gouda entered the kitchen. Maybe I should let the cricket cricket. After all, they confirmed there are other bugs here. But I don't think so. He turned on the kitchen light. When he did, he heard a strange sound. To a cook like Goda, the sound felt like a lid on a pressure cooker or something shaking. Surely there wouldn't be a pot on the burner when no one was in the kitchen. Even if someone was using the gas, walking away from it could be quite dangerous. Just in case, Goda decided to inspect the area around the gas range. What is this? When he did, in the corner with the gas range, the pressure cooker really had been set out, just as he thought, but the flame wasn't on. And yet the lid was clinking. Was something fermenting and leaking gas? Ew. How could that be? And then there was a mouse or something inside. How could there be? Ridiculous! When people were watching, Goda acted as though he had a bold personality fitting for his build. But he actually had an unexpectedly timid side to him. He was frightened there might be something inside. He couldn't bring himself to check it carelessly. I know that feel. Ugh. In his cowardice, he grabbed a nearby wooden pestle, and with a clunk, he tapped it a little forcefully against the side of the pressure cooker. When he did, the clinking sound suddenly stopped. He should have been relieved that it had been stopped, but the fact that it had stopped where he had hit it was even more eerie. It made him even more suspicious about what was inside. Mysterious phenomena do not exist in this world. Yes, witches and magic, things like that couldn't possibly exist. All phenomena can be explained with science, as if monsters and witches could exist. He repeated that many times, trying to build up his own confidence. The gap between what he was saying and what he was doing was quite comical. Who would believe in a witch? Who would believe in magic or curses? Come on. Show me what you really are. Take that! He removed the lid of the pressure cooker, and lying exposed there was a sparkling clean silver bottom of the pot. There was absolutely nothing frightening like he'd imagined. Whew! It's only natural. There is no way there could have been anything inside. By now, Goda realized that he had been a coward. So while he had some doubts as to what caused the lid to make that sound, he figured it wasn't a big problem and decided not to worry about it too much. He took the lid he grabbed and softly set it back down where it had been. It's fine, it won't make a sound. Of course it won't. As if witches or magic could exist. Uh-oh. Huh? All the pots and dishes in the kitchen started clanking at once. It grew even stronger, so that finally the lid to one of the pots fell off. And from inside a pot, a slender white arm reached out. Lids fell off the pots, one after another, and another, and another. As if witches could exist! As if I believe it! The number of arms grew to 7. A loud and shrill laughter split the air.
What a letdown! Too bad that someone who can make such delicious food is such a lightweight!
If you don't want him, I'll take him. He's all mine. Wait, I said no! I'll take him! Huh? What? Oof, poor Goda.
Come on, let's search! There's only one more. That old hag! Where is she? Isn't she in the mansion? What about the guest house? First one first wins, right? Come on, search! Search! Find her! Find her! Don't be noticed by the relatives in the dining hall, right? And don't get noticed by the kids in the guest house, right? Search in silence, kill in silence. After all, it's still just the first twilight.
She is in the guest house, but she wasn't in the mansion either, right? Hey, I found her! I found her. She's in the rose garden. Why is she standing around there without an umbrella? She's already given up. All mine, all mine, all mine! You blockies will just sit there and watch. I told you no! This one's mine! Come on, if we take any longer, we'll be scolded by Beatrice. Let's take care of it all at once. There! Found her, surrounded her! Come on, let's get along and do it all at once, okay? Die! Kumasawa power.
Huh? What?
What is this?
What naughty girls. You wouldn't happen to be friends with that child, would you? Just what is this, old hag?
There's gotta be some mistake. One more time.
Why can't she defend against us?
Move aside. One more time. No matter how often you try, it won't work. This person is good.
I am waiting for that child. Would you mind calling her?
Do you really expect us to run errands for you like that? There's no need. Ooh, here we go. Beatrice! After all, even I have manifested by now. I was certain that you had awakened.
Ronove. It's been a long time. Yes, truly a long time.
This person's talking to Ronove without using Sama. Oops, sorry. Let's try that again. This person's talking to Ronove-sama without using Sama. I don't always like to use honorifics, so.
And it's been a long time since I've seen you too, Beatrice.
She's not using Sama for Beatrice-sama.
Enough! Don't you know who this is? The name Beatrice itself is hers. I only inherited from her. This is my teacher, the previous Lady Beatrice.
The previous Lady Beatrice?
Here she's coming! Gold butterflies appeared in ones and twos from the garden of roses and began to gather around Kumasawa. After that, she was wrapped in a golden sparkle. She burst and disappeared. Kumasawa's form was no longer there. There she is! Instead, there was another golden witch, the one who taught the path of the endless witch to Beatrice, and the only person Beatrice ever called teacher. Her hair was long and beautiful, and vividly youthful. Her figure in that elegant dress couldn't have possibly been mistaken for an old lady. No, this looked like a completely different person from Kumasawa. Well, well, teacher. I've never even dreamed that we'd meet each other again.
Yes, neither did I. I certainly never dreamed that my sleep would ever be disturbed.
Such a troublesome time for you to awaken. If you remained asleep as usual, the first twilight could have ended without this much trouble. Or perhaps I should be glad you're here. I was just getting a tad bored.
As usual, it seems you're toying with the sinless people in a vulgar game. I believe I taught you several times the power of the endless witch mustn't be used to cause people trouble.
Don't say that, teacher. Isn't boredom our natural enemy? This is just a little spice to escape from that. The more corrosion advances, the stronger my power becomes. The easier it becomes to summon my minions. But who would have thought it would have released a seal on you, teacher, at the same time?
It is precisely because I predicted such a thing would happen that I slept so very close to where you were. Though I prayed in my sleep that I would not be awoken again. Being reunited with you like this is a very sad thing for me.
You're as cunning as always, teacher.
Ronabe, have that young furniture step back. Furniture only serves its master. The master is responsible for all her crimes. Certainly. Madame Beatrice, I have already passed that name on to this child. Come now, step back. Furniture girls, I may give warnings a second time, but if you did not listen to the first, however, do not expect to receive a third.
Step back, Seven Sisters of Purgatory. If you get dragged in this, only dust will remain.
Back, everyone! Renove and the Seven Sisters of Purgatory retreated. After that, what remained was Beatrice, whose daring expression didn't falter, and the teacher Beatrice, who had given up the name and wore a composed smile.
Well then, teacher, what tea shall I prepare for our long-awaited reunion?
Let's see. This reunion was longer in coming than a visit of a comet. Perhaps I will accept your hospitality. And if it seems a mistake has been made, I'll have you return my name and the title of Endless Witch.
So even the title of Endless Witch has a license renewal policy? As you wish, teacher. See how splendid your disciple has become, and see how far she has surpassed you so long ago.
The air between the two Beatrices seemed to explode with sparks. Just by glaring at each other, they purge all the spirits from that space. Oh yeah! As they watched, the Seven Sisters shivered. After all, if they had retreated just 3 steps less than they had, they would have already been turned to dust by now.
So come, Beatrice.
Oops, I messed up. That was Virgilian. So come, Beatrice. Surrendering my name to you is the only regret I have in life. I will now correct that error by my own hands.
You've got it wrong, teacher. My only error was becoming your disciple in the hopes of gaining such a puny level of power, get it?
Why are you calling magic? Why are you calling Endless Witch? All of you got is a power that can be gained just by noticing right. And you act as though that is so great and impressive. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Beatrice. My bad. Yeah, I'm dumb. So.
Why are you calling magic? Why are you calling the Endless Witch? All you've got is a power that can be gained just by noticing right. And you act as though that's so great and impressive. Your turn's long over, teacher!
My bad. Oh, here we go. I don't have any clue what's going on anymore. What in the world is happening right in front of my eyes? You poor thing. It seems my disciple is causing you trouble. I apologize. Who the heck are you? Why did old Kumasawa turn into a Neichan like this? I mean, seriously, who are you? I don't get it. What kind of special effects are these? My head feels like it's gonna explode. I'm the witch teacher of that child. My old name was Beatrice. When that child succeeded me, I gave up that name. So I have no name of my own. Like you've already said, your disciple's been a real pain to me. Please take responsibility and do something! No, wait! I don't believe in stuff like this! As if witches and magic could exist! I won't accept this messed up battle! Damn it! What should I believe?
That's just like you. Hospitality with a very quick temper.
I expect nothing less from you, teacher. It seems this is so trivial to you, you don't even feel like opening your eyes. But I doubt you'll be able to win unless you're prepared to wreck this whole island, see? Come, arise! Shoulder War Towers!
In response to Beatrice's summons, a terrific earth tremor split the rose garden, and on either side of her shoulders, two massive war towers sprouted and stabbed into the heavens. They stretched up to a 100 Marute wall, and each had over 360 ports. They were war towers of God's army corps, which had prevented even groups of ancient heroes from invading their sacred gardens. As Beatrice elegantly floated in the gap between the massive two-head towers, she looked down at her teacher, sneering with a sense of absolute superiority. With the two massive towers lined up behind her shoulders, the witch looked very small, like a butterfly dancing between two huge trees.
Don't think you can dodge it by turning into butterflies, okay? The density of the Twin Tower barrage wouldn't make you just a pinned bug sandwich. It'd make you a madly stabbed pincushion, right?
Over 720 ports opened on the towers, and godly soldiers raided their multi-shot ballistas.
Is that the end of your turn?
Famous last words. Blast away!
Ballista shots that numbered over 1,000 were all fired at once, drawing a beautiful dramatical curtain of death. The boorish sounds of the bowstrings were played was probably even deeper than that of the reaper swinging its sickle.
Come arise, fallen tower. Split the single language that let that sin be known.
The sky was stained in incandescent red, and from between the clouds a blazing massive tower fell upside down. That massive falling tower and its rubble sucked in the thousands of ballista shots, so that not one of them approached the body of the witch who had summoned me. That's right, no group of people, no matter how large, could approach the mysteries of heaven. That was the reality of the fallen tower.
As I expect from you, teacher. If you do something, you always do it big.
My turn isn't over. Come arise, sons of Vivaldi. Bestow upon me a worthy spear.
As the massive crimson tower that had fallen made a terrible gold-colored explosion, a massive spear appeared from inside those flames, so tall, like a tower, that you had to look up to see all of it. It was too large for even a giant's hand. That divinely beautiful spear of God, so massive, it gave the illusion the fallen tower had turned to a spear of the same size. It was a spear of certain victory that none could escape. It looks like your tin towers won't help you now. How foolish to block off your means of escape on both sides. You can't defend against even a single spear! She snapped her fingers in command. The massive tower-sized spear shot at Beatrice like a bolt. It aimed right for the middle of the center of the Golden Witch's heart with extreme precision. As she danced in the gap between the towers like a butterfly, slicing straight through the air like a flash of lightning.
So you use gun gear at a moment like this. You really are incredible, teacher! Burst, useless towers! Arise, giant soldier battle line! Fully block the divine spear with your shields and chests!
The Soldier War Towers exploded in gold. They became several billion gold butterflies. Those butterflies took the shape of 7 massive armored soldiers, each stretching a fully 50 Marute into the sky. They lined up in front of Beatrice, protecting their master and holding massive shields that towered like windmills. They were massive as a mountain range, which behind them was like a small moon hiding behind the mountains. Once in the past, the massive shields these giants had held had been ready by a whole regiment. They had protected King Wilhelm's castle not only from arrows, but from the wind and the rain. And when they had faced upwards and held their shields up to the heavens, not even a single ranger had gone through. Foolish. A shame of a witch who has forgotten to respect things sacred. Did you think mere giants could defend against a spear of the gods? Indeed. No matter how much human metal you are armed with, you cannot block the spear of the gods. Wonderful athletic might by Madame. No way! Beatrice!
Of course I haven't forgotten, teacher. Come arise, disciple of the Sphinxes. Bestow upon me a worthy shield.
A golden whirlwind arose at the feet of the giant soldiers. It was a cloud of countless butterflies. They attached themselves to the massive shields like gold leaves sparkling like they were a gold mirror. It was the absolute defensive wall given to a goddess by the chief of the gods, the Aegis Shield. With the Holy Spear, which left a dignified tail behind it like a comet, crashed into the mountain range of the gold shield, there was a terrible, thunderous roar. There was a creaking of the pillars that held up the heavens. The divine spear spun around and around and was sent flying in the direction of the setting sun.
Impossible! She defended against the divine spear!
No, that is not correct. The divine spear avoided her. It is the law of the gods that an absolute spear and an absolute shield must never fight one another. Although in the end, it means the same thing as defending against it. Your skills have improved from engaging in these fights so often.
Or rather, it seems you're still as bad as ever at this kind of game, teacher. It's my turn to strike back. I shall follow the code and counter their spear with a spear.
The giant soldier battle line, which had fully blocked the divine spear, released its holy gold shields. The shields fell into the earth, making the ground shake. When they did, another gold whirlwind arose, and the 7 gold shields changed their forms into 7 massive spears of lightning lying on the ground. At once, each of the giants lifted one of their legs high and firmly stomped at the tips of the handles. As the earth shook with a thunderous sound, the 7 lightning spears spun beautifully and flew up the giant soldiers' heads. They scattered into a golden splash and began to fall before the giants. Each of the giants squared off with the force of their whole body as they kicked and smashed. The broken pieces numbered exactly 30 and became lightning spears of exactly the same size as the original, which made 210 for the 7 giants, and all those burst at once, with each splitting into 30 thorns for a total of 6,300. They became a barrage of thunderclouds drawing a beautiful geometric pattern, and then each changed into 3 bolts of lightning, so that 18,900 thunderbolts shot at the predecessor Beatrice.
It's over! Beatrice!
I would expect nothing less from Madame.
Okay, hold on. Yes, and all the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff that could happen. Rudolph, he's like, wait, I don't think it's raining cats and dogs anymore. I think it's raining spears.
That bundle of almost 20,000 thunderbolts must have reduced the teacher's body to dust. But there had been no resistance. Beatrice knew immediately that she had been fooled. At that time, from the direction the sun had supposedly set, she felt the impossible rays of sunlight. A brilliant ray of light shone on her profile. It was the figure of her teacher, holding aloft the spear of the gods that had supposedly been repelled a short while ago. She bore a sparkle like the sun on her back and made it shine the incarnation of darkness. As Beatrice watched, she was trapped like a mouse in a cage cornered in the dead end formed by the giant soldier battle line. By now, the predecessor Beatrice had seized a position directly alongside that line. Playtime is over, Beatrice.
Have I exposed my flame?
Her bold expression hadn't faltered even once, but now it had twisted for the first time. In faster than Beatrice could click her tongue, the predecessor Beatrice released the holy spear. As it leapt through the air, it changed its form once more. Come arise, the Rigor brothers. Bestow upon me the giant-smashing iron hammer of heaven.
Giant soldiers, protect me! What are you doing, you blockheads?
By now it was no longer a spear, but the whirlwind of a massive hammer that raised a sound like a windstorm as it flew through the air. It was a legendary hammer that had shaken even the king of the frost giants, so the giant soldiers couldn't escape from that fear. So regardless how strongly the master ordered them, they couldn't get in the path of the hammer. Back, rank mate. Rest in peace.
Damn it!
Before the whirlwind of the massive chunk of metal, Beatrice was nothing more than a mere speck. The instant the whirlwind started to suck Beatrice in, she appeared into a change of a massive war tower. The iron hammer smashed the war tower, scattering tremendous amounts of rubble, but it did not reach who she had escaped behind it. Furthermore, when the smoke started to settle, the war tower had sucked in a massive iron hammer without troubling and blocked the way. Even the giant smashing iron hammer couldn't break through the final tower, protecting the witch. However, this war tower was actually the witch's last trump card. It was a war tower for dodging that could only save her from danger once. But this tower was impregnable. No weapon could break through it. At that time, the moon disappeared. As Beatrice hid in the shadows, a giant soldier battle line in the war tower, she looked up to the sky. What she did, inside the moon, was a figure of a massive horse ridden by the god of war and death. The predecessor Beatrice rode the horse with him. His cloak had blocked the moon and swallowed it in an eerie shadow. The spear of the gods was in his hands once more. In other words, it was a godly knight who had jumped over the ramparts formed by the giant soldiers and the war tower attacking from the heavens.
You got me.
Smothered mate. It was fun, Beatrice. The struggle of death between two witches with the same name was over. The spear that had been launched from the heavens pierced the ground. The giant soldier battle line in the war tower split into countless gold butterflies, wrapping the area in a gold-colored storm. Then came the sound of thunder, the sound of falling rain and wind. If you looked around, the rose garden was empty. The butler and the rest were watching the two witches confronting each other. But Beatrice alone had changed. She had been pierced straight through by the spear from the base of her neck and her right shoulder to her left buttocks, unable to reach the ground with her feet, horribly exposed like a pitiful pinned butterfly tormented by the wind and rain.
Beatrice! As expected, a truly fearsome person.
That settles it, Beatrice. Beatrice wore a bitter smile of false courage, but a strand of blood dangled from her mouth, making her look even more pitiful. The title and power of the Endless Witch. You will return them to me now, along with the name Beatrice. You are too immature to call yourself an Endless Witch.
Stop. Forgive me, teacher. I was just fooling around, okay?
I will take back my name from you. I shall return you to your original form. Perhaps you should relinquish this power which has belonged to you and live a life suitable for yourself. Come, try to remember. What form did you have? The predecessor Beatrice began to recite the words of power. When she did, small gold butterflies gathered near the skewered Beatrice and began to swarm about her. The butterflies sucking the nectar out of the flowers, they began to suck the magical power out of Beatrice. It seemed to cause her intense pain. A cry of anguish issued from Beatrice's mouth. She no longer had any power to resist it. Yeah, I know it's something about drugs, and I know it's like the dad from Malcolm in the Middle plays him. Maybe I should watch it since it's fun. I like his actor, I think. Well, I don't know his name. I know faces, that's it. Come, try closing your eyes. Try to remember. What form did you have? Come, Beatrice. Repeat it with me. Let's sing a song together. Then it will be over soon. Let's end your pain as fast as possible. You're right. How long has it been since I sung with you, teacher? Come, together now. Come, try to remember. What form did you have? Come, try to remember. What form did you have? Well, the two of them began to recite the same song. More and more gold butterflies danced around, swarming around Beatrice. It will be all right, milady. You will lose your place as my disciple, but that will not change the fact that you are the lady I serve. After that, I shall read a book for you again. I shall bake you apple pies once more, just like it was long ago. Come, try to remember. Yes, try to remember. Are you finally starting to remember? Hey, teacher. Did you remember? That thing behind you? What is this? When the predecessor Beatrice looked behind her, there was an eerie hedgehog curled up there. No, it was herself. There was another predecessor Beatrice, whose whole body had been packed with ballista shots, lying there like a pincushion doll. Come, try to remember. What form did you have? Or maybe that's not right. Come, try to remember. How were you killed? The predecessor Beatrice was stunned. Her form gradually began to fade away. This is... When did you... At the beginning, I did not summon a pair of shoulder towers. There were 4 towers. Teacher, you carelessly stepped across the 7th rank rook boundary of death created by the 2 hidden towers, which were lurking in the distance of either side of you. It was bad manners of me to say check this late. I simply must apologize. The battle had been decided at the very beginning. It had been over since the time the predecessor had leaned forward, readying her holy spear to attack Beatrice, who had been wedged between her solar towers. The hidden towers lurking on either side had bathed in a windstorm of ballista shots from 720 ports on both sides, pinning and killing her. However, Beatrice hadn't wanted to be resolved like that. She wanted to let her teacher make her next move, and continue acting as though the game was still on. She had immediately revived her with the endless power, and had her continue the game as though nothing had happened. Then the predecessor slowly remembered that she had already been killed, and began to vanish completely. When she did, the spear that pierced Beatrice also vanished. Beatrice finally landed on the ground. There wasn't even a trace of a scar. It was fun, teacher. If you want to play again, I'll revive you anytime. And once we've had some fun, I'll make you remember that you're a corpse again. See? I did everything you told me to, right? Didn't you tell me to always put my toys back in their boxes when I'm done playing with them? Was it an easy victory? You fool! It was a tough one! If I hadn't tricked her with the 4 towers, I would have been the one dead, as I'd expect from teacher. But now I can stand proud.
And now I have completely surpassed teacher. Ronobe, cleanup teacher's remains a bit. I haven't lost my respect for her that much.
Certainly. The night's first twilight became a little too riotous. A little cleanup would be necessary. I shall see to it immediately. Goats, it's time to clean up. Ronobe snapped his fingers. Blazing, sparkling eyes began to blink in the open shadows and darkness, becoming goat-headed attendants that appeared one after another. One by one, they wordlessly stood at the attention in line behind Ronobe's back. This time, I shall be done about the 6 corpses, another close-room pattern. I'm in no mood to think now. I'll leave it to you, Ronobe. An extraordinary closed room to torment Valor, if you would. Certainly. Then it shall be extraordinary.
Okay, where's Battler? Battler! Did you see my big moment?
Damn it! After being shown that screwed up magical storm, what can I deny? That's just witches existing. After being shown that tremendous flashy fantasy, what can I deny now? I don't get it anymore. It was like this last time too, but how can I deny these awesome, wonderful magic battles?
Isn't that right? After watching this, you can't talk your way out of it, right? Okay, Battler, let's hear some ridiculous reasoning.
Milady, your laugh is becoming undignified.
Oh, my apologies, but that isn't my fault. After all, if Ballard tightly closes his eyes, grinds his teeth, and shows me that he ever so bitter expression, it just automatically slips out of my mouth, you see?
So, Bethel, why don't you return to the table without losing heart? Milady is expecting your counterattack, you see. Quit messing with me! How the hell can I make a counter-argument? In the first place, everything was already screwed up when that tower sprouted out up on the earth. Should I say that under the ground in Rokonjima there's a secret laboratory for building super alloy-going robots or something? What is this, Power Rangers? And that pushing a button can make these strange towers sprout up? Right, and those huge giants must be the robots, or maybe his evil secret association mecha monsters? I don't get it! Don't talk to me!
Look! Look, look, look! Don't cry, okay? Bang, bang! It's magic! If you want, I'll crush the moon and make comets fall like rain. I can even bear the whole island, those massive breasted nachans that you like so much, see? Come on, come on! Look, look, look! My turn's over, see? Show me your response. Launch your counterattack. You can't, can you? Except that there's a quadrillion things that you can't do. You're useless against this, right? You actually like this kind of fantasy, don't you? I get it. That's been going around the streets lately, hasn't it? In manga and light novels and anime and movies. Some teenage brats get the whole bunch of strange abilities, and they blow all sorts of stuff with the fate of the world on the line. You love that too, don't you? I know. Don't hide it. You love her, right? Hasn't the thing you love just been displayed before your very eyes? Why do you believe in manga and anime, but you won't believe in me? Believe, believe, believe in it! You can't argue back, not even after being shown something like this, right? Look, look, look! Answer! You don't need to think. You can just obediently say, I'm sorry, Beatrice! Look, look, try saying it. I'm sorry, Beatrice! Try saying it, say it, say it! Don't be embarrassed. Oh yeah!
actually am kind of in the middle of playing that game with Mario and Luigi. I need to play more of it. I've taken a break from playing some video games. I don't know. But Fawful's in there. That's what I know. Let's save. Oh, yeah, Bowser's there, and then, like, Cacletta or something. And they took Princess Peach's voice. That's the one I'm playing. What? Why are they not dead yet? Oh, they're not here yet. Okay. Any tips? Nope, no tips yet. Yeah. I stopped at the part where, like, so far, I had to beat up Bablanadon or something like that with, like, the cactus and all that stuff. And I just got the hammers. Somewhere around there. Alright. Well. Alright. Good night. I am finished. Since it's been 2 hours. Yeah. Good night.
Was there something in the... Wait, was there something in Gota's lunch? Like, in the rose panna cotta thing? Be honest. Wait. Be honest, did you have Gota lace the food with some kind of super meth or something? Because I've done normal method. It doesn't do this. Oh, yeah. And then Kiri. Everybody, like, you've done meth?!
Excuse me. Yes. Only natural. She's a woman of culture. Especially from that... What is that called? I just remember the name. That Chongshan she wears. From China. That's custom made with the one-wing eagle patterns. I haven't seen Breaking Bad.